Two teams with playoff aspirations meet tonight in suburban Atlanta. This is the Pro Volleyball Federation coming to you live on the ROKU Sports Network as the Vibe at home. Winners of 4 in a row take on the Orlando Valkyries. These two teams meeting for the third time. Orlando has taken the first two. Omaha red hot. They've won 8 out of their last 9. They're atop the table at 12-4, followed by Orlando. Atlanta, Indy, and Vegas, they snapped a losing streak last night, got a much-needed win. Very crowded for one of those valued 4 playoff spots. And speaking of valuable, my partner, one and only Holly McPeak, 3-time Olympian. And Holly, last night is a perfect example around the Pro Volleyball Federation. A match in 5 sets, 15-13. A match in 4 sets, the two teams tied in total points. At this stage of the season, with about 10 to go, how tough is it to get a win in this league right now?
It's really tough, and the reason why is there's so much data. These teams can scheme to stop the strengths of one another, so defensive execution and offensive balance are really crucial heading into this playoff time.
Yeah, both of these very, very solid teams. In Atlanta, again, as I mentioned, has won 4 in a row, have stars, and we're going to talk about them. Very, very balanced. Brittany Abercrombie talking about a scouting report. They got lots of data, does the opponent, but tough to stop.
Lots of teams scheming to stop Brittany Abercrombie, but she's been sensational, carries a huge load for Orlando. In the front row, the back row, she's got tons of range and can hurt you in so many different ways. Almost 5 points per set. That is a big number. So look for Brittany to have a big night if they're going to upset Atlanta.
Has had as many as 30 kills in an individual match. For a time, that was a record. Leah Edmond, last year's most valuable player, does a lot of things when you look at her resume so far.
Leah Edmond keeps getting better. She's got a lethal serve, really turned up the heat this year. Much better. A huge arm, lots of thunderous kills from her, but she's also a shutdown blocker on that left side. People don't talk about it enough.
Both Abercrombie and Leah Edmond absolutely tremendous out of the back row as we take a look at our Ren Athletics starting lineups. There is Edmond. Corey Lewis out of Florida State is having a fabulous year. Merritt Beeson, #1 overall pick. Leah Timmer playing very solid all around out of Stanford. McKenna Vicini. Marley Monserrat will be at the controls at the setting position, and the one and only Morgan Hens, the top digger so far this year in the Pro Volleyball Federation. And for Orlando, Adora Enai is back in Orlando, not available. Lindsay Vanderweide will step in very capably. Kaz Brown. There's Abercrombie, Courtney Schwann, Natalie Foster right now, the big-time favorite for Rookie of the Year, Shampoo Goodpart, and Shannon Scully will step in for the injured Georgia Murphy at the libero position, one of 2 liberos deployed by Orlando. The other is Nalani Yosia. There is Brittany Abercrombie. We're going to be calling her name an awful lot. #1 so far in the PVF in points. Hit 287 on the year, #1 in kills per set. There is Leah Edmond. She wears number 13. 3-2 win over San Diego. Atlanta hasn't played since last Friday. A nice break for Leah Edmond and a lot of these other athletes. Merritt Beeson coming out of Nebraska. She's been playing a lot of volleyball, could have used a few days off. And we are underway. Best 3 out of 5. Orlando in their white uniforms, and right away, big block by the aforementioned Vanderweide.
Interesting strategy for Orlando to serve Morgan Hens. But Atlanta was in system, and Vanderweide all over for the stop on the block.
Vanderweide played at San Diego last year, has previously played in France and Greece. Coming here to Timmer, and there is Edmond over the top, dug by Schwann. Courtney Schwann, wearing number 4 in white middle back, is an outstanding digger. Good block deflection by Foster, wearing number 13 in white, dug by Shampoo. This match will feature a lot of very long rallies. Another good block touch. There is Yosia, the defensive libero. Look at Yosia again. Played at Texas and then at Michigan State. Pretty good dig, but a tough play to follow on. Excellent rally by both teams.
You see the defense on both sides on point because these teams know where each other wants to go. So you're going to have to one-up them on the execution.
There is McKenna Vicini, 6'2" out of Lexington, Kentucky. Played in NCAA championship and won that in 2019. Vanderweide off the block of Corey Lewis and out of bounds. The loss of Adora Enai, and maybe more importantly, the loss for the rest of the season of Georgia Murphy, who was the #1 receiver in the Pro Volleyball Federation, the libero.
Lindsay Vanderweide has been really impressive, and it's nice that she has playing time to give them depth at that left side position. She's been really impressive on the offensive side of the ball, but Georgia Murphy is a big loss. She's your serve receive libero, and she was passing for the best numbers across the league. Perfect pass, and Marley Monserrat going high to Corey Lewis, finds the corner, doesn't try and go straight down, just deep to the corner.
Schwann in reception and then in attacking. Nice play by Hens. Good first contact and on target. Van de Weyden now in center field. Schwann, an excellent beach player. I know you'll appreciate that, Holly McPeak. Winners of 70, how many did you win? 72. I thought it was 73, but a very good roll shot.
Should have been. Courtney Schwann has disguises that roll shot better than anybody in the league.
Here is Natalie Foster. 41 aces, a new record in the Pro Volleyball Federation. Starts things off, and Leah Edmond quickly off the edge of the block. Both teams right now pretty good in first ball contact.
Serve receive has been really impressive, and that's really what's going to open up opportunities to score, putting some pressure on the opponent with a tough serve.
Edmond, a four-time All-American at the University of Kentucky. Boy, both teams really in good spots. Holly, we talked about it before first serve. Teams have all kinds of data, and right now blockers and defenders are in really good spots.
In transition, this ball by Shampoo goes back a little tight, and Abercrombie gets a touch off the Atlanta block.
Challenging that there was no block touch.
We have our first challenge so far in the early evening here. Beautiful spring day in the Atlanta area. The trees are all out blooming. The cherry blossoms and the dogwoods. You can challenge touch off the block, net violation. You can't challenge ball in or out. That's all done by Bolt 6 out of their headquarters in Charlotte. There's our second referee, Brianna Spain. And unusually in the Pro Volleyball Federation, the second referee will sit on the same side as Devaney McClarty. And was there a touch here? That ball was called out of bounds, and it will stay point and possession to Atlanta and Leah Edmond. That ball out of bounds. So you start with two challenges. That challenge was not upheld. There's Kayla Banworth in her first year on the sideline, a world champion as a libero for the United States in 2014. Schwann, smart shot up into Monserrat along with Corey Lewis.
That's a tough swing by Courtney Schwann, out of system, way off the net, but able to get that through the block, swinging out of trouble.
Here is Brittany Abercrombie, her first year, played at USC some time ago, and what a debut. A lot was expected of Abercrombie when she joined Orlando and lived up to every bit of it. A lot of pressure coming in.
Brittany Abercrombie won AU in the fall with a very stacked, talented group, and she came out on top, so a lot of high expectations coming into this season.
Has played in Korea in the very, very good league in Turkey the last couple of seasons. Schwann, Van de Weyden started it, but now one-on-one against Merritt Beeson.
Left side blocking is so important to slow down that slide and that strong right side attack. Courtney Schwann on an island by herself, gets over the net fast. Good read defensively.
That's exactly what Atlanta wanted. They spread things out with Corey Lewis. Got the one, oh, look out. Kaz Brown took a shot. Marley Monserrat comes over to make sure she's okay. But that should have been a win. Merritt Beeson one-on-one, but very, very good blocking and response by Orlando.
Usually one-on-one opportunities, advantage goes to the hitter.
Here is Marley Monserrat, played several years at the University of Florida before playing a year of beach volleyball at UCLA. But she was out of the game as far as indoor is concerned. Nice block that time by Bettini. Known very much so, number 12 in black, for her blocking prowess.
The Atlanta Live doing a nice job bunching inside to slow down this middle, but McKenna Bettini gets all of this. Brittany Abercrombie out of the back row.
Tough serve. Expert pass that time by Scully, and it leads to a winner by Brown.
Shampoo and Kaz Brown have developed a really nice connection. It's a fast slide behind the setter, and Kaz Brown has been very effective.
Kaz Brown averaging just over 2 kills per set, third in the league in total blocks with 45. Some service errors early on here, bunched up for Orlando. given where we are in this opening set, we will take our first technical timeout at Gas South Arena in suburban Atlanta. The Atlanta Vibe looking for their 5th straight win on top of Orlando. 8-6 here, just underway in this best 3 out of 5. Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on the ROKU Sports Channel. Back with Holly McPeak. I'm Paul Sunderland. Orlando at 12-6. They had lost a couple in a row, but they cleaned that up. They won at San Diego 3-1. And then Atlanta now at 10-8 on their best stretch, winners of 4 in a row. At the first technical timeout, we'll have a technical. There is Amy Pauley in her 2nd year on the sideline for Orlando. Much, much improved this year. They were 8-16 last year. And here is Pia Timmer back at the service line. I mentioned 3 third meetings so far on the year. Each and every one of these teams will play all of the other opponents 4 times during the regular season, and Orlando has won the first 2.
Lindsay Vanderweider nailed that pass, and then the recipient of a sweet ball out to the left pin. She's got a ton of range and has been proven as a scorer, even though she didn't play early in the season for Orlando.
Hitting .289, a very, very solid percentage for an outside attacker in this particular league. That ball missed out of bounds by Leah Edmond, number 13 in black. Here is Shampoo out of Thailand, her 9th year as a professional. Been very impressive. Easy serve to Timmer. What a good block by Foster. Back to Foster, dug by Montserrat. Joust coming, and one on the outside by Abercrombie and by Foster, both going about 6'4".
We're getting some battles in the middle. Both teams want to get their middles going. Watch this ball to Natalie Foster. Dig by Montserrat, but too tight, and Abercrombie gets it for Orlando.
Natalie Foster had 13 kills on 24 swings, and nothing new. 3 aces in their last meeting. That was at San Diego, and a 4-0 run here for Shampoo. It was 8-6, remember, at the technical timeout. That ball set a little bit tight, turned down the line. Really good swing that time by 5, Beeson.
Marley Montserrat got that ball wide enough for Merritt Beeson to work outside the block down the line. Very good sign for Atlanta and Merritt Beeson when she's scoring like that.
Yeah, there was some discussion whether or not Aiko Jones out of Louisville or Merritt Beeson would get the start. Beeson really struggled in their last match a week ago in San Diego. Started 0 for 9 and then was substituted out of the match. Edmond, good roll shot. Very nice off speed.
You could hear the Orlando coaches yelling for an off-speed shot. They saw it coming, the team didn't. Good D offensive overhand, and then just a little taking pace off the block, working off Foster's hands.
Back to the scouting report situation. All of the coaches knew that was coming. Good start for Vanderweider. Big arm out of the University of Oregon.
One of the things Orlando does with Lindsay Vanderweider, they run that rip set inside and then they go outside. So that keeps the block stressed, not knowing if she's coming inside or out.
Overpass taken care of by Abercrombie.
Tough serve by Vanderweider, sets that up, but I love where Brittany Abercrombie put that ball. She knew what was open, sharp cross court for the throwdown.
12-10 is the advantage opening set. Oh, looking for the hard flat serve, and Vanderweider missed that. We got to look at the service errors right now starting to add up, or at least it feels like it. Yeah, that is the 4th service error already for Orlando. Here is Beeson, started at Florida, then on to Nebraska. Very distinguished career at both schools, and that ball missed out of bounds. As good as Brittany Abercrombie has been, struggled the last couple of matches. Some errors coming into her resume. Abercrombie just 18 of her last 91 with 15 errors. That's very unusual.
But every team in this league is scheming to stop her and make the rest of the team beat you. So that's probably why her numbers are struggling.
Good play by Schwann. Excellent read. Going high flat again. Dug by Timmer. Quickly to the outside. Magnificent combination from Montserrat to Edmond.
When Montserrat pushes that ball to the left pin with some pace, Leah Edmond gets on top of it. She's season opening in the block. Little bit of skylight, she takes it.
That was really a quick delivery. What a challenge for the middle blocker. Short serve, got it on Foster. What a play by the rookie. Most of her career at Wichita State before transferring to SMU. And Foster, the leader by a long margin, a wide margin in terms of aces.
Watch this tight pass. Shampoo goes up, saves it with, well, it looked like she got two hands on it, but Natalie Foster knew that ball was coming her way.
Ace again for number 13, Foster. I spoke with Foster at practice earlier today. We were both visiting and talked to her about this serve. She's got a wonderful process now, but she never even served at all when she was at Wichita State. It was only after she transferred in the winter and then in the spring season that she found this incredible weapon.
Back-to-back aces. She's worked on her routine, her pattern. She loves it. She said, this is a really fun part of my game, and it's a new way to score for her team.
Individually, one of the biggest and best weapons in all of the Pro Volleyball Federation. A couple of aces back-to-back. She's recorded an ace in all but 2 matches all season long and now has 43.
You think about it, high contact point, that helps.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's been very, very impressive. Let's take a look at some news and notes around the Pro Volleyball Federation. There have been some interesting matches in the last 2. Allie Batenhorst has certainly been waiting her time and opportunity in Omaha and taking full advantage the last couple of matches.
Batenhorst was on fire all season long for USC, came out strong for Omaha, and then has really not been utilized that much until the last 2 matches where she was the player of the match both times.
Las Vegas started 7-2 and then just last night ended that 7-match losing streak. Dramatic fashion, deuce sets across the board at Grand Rapids, and sadly, I talked about Georgia Murphy, tore her ACL, MCL, PCL in a non-jumping sort of very unusual
Monday
injury.
at practice, just a freak thing, and so sad for Orlando.
And Lekator Member-Mene, I think the most in my opinion, the most entertaining player in all the PVF, sadly, is out for the rest of the year. Injured her ankle, missed the All-Star game, re-injured it, but the second time around it was much more serious and been announced that she is out for the year. A big, how does that affect Indy?
Indy's got some depth, but
do.
her leadership, I mean, she's an MVP candidate, and I will certainly miss watching her play, but they have been working with some new lineups and have some depth on their team. They're just young.
Oh, smart shot again. Got Edmond out of the play. Take Shampoo out of the play, and Brittany Abercrombie looking for a touch and missed that one out of bounds. Doesn't miss that very often. She's a very, very experienced player.
That transition set too tight from Foster. Abercrombie tried to push it in, but the Atlanta Vibe players had pulled their hands out of the way. 2
kills on 9 swings with a couple of errors. Yosia will come back on, and now we've got to, you know that they wanted to get Natalie Foster off the line because Atlanta called a timeout at 15, even though the second technical was coming at 16. Couple of outstanding young coaches on the sideline for Orlando and Amy Pauley, and Caleb Anworth for Atlanta, bronze medalist at the 2016 Olympic Games, an assistant at her alma mater at Nebraska, head coach at Ole Miss, and as I mentioned, a world champion victor over China in 2014 when she was the starting libero for Karch Kirai in the United States. 16-14 is the advantage. Natalie Foster with a couple of aces, and here is Abercrombie back at the line. Pretty easy short serve. Boy, quickly to the outside. Love that dig. Van de Weyde and Schwan are playing really good defense. Pancake is up by Timmer, but Atlanta could not follow on.
Orlando taking some big rips against the block, and we've seen some block deflections drop off the Atlanta block. Lindsay Van der Weyde playing center field, keeping that ball alive. She's been impressive both sides of the ball so far.
Perfect pass that time by Edmond to Schwan, going off speed again. Nice read by Beeson. Excellent. Beautifully done. The tempo to the outside. How does that stress the defense of Orlando?
The middle blocker has to chase. It puts the hitter at an advantage because the middle blocker is chasing. Look at Monterey fire this ball out. You see Cass Brown was jumping in the middle because she thought it was coming fast.
They really have to make a commitment to that sort of tempo. Good block deflection, good hard work by Brown. Schwann with a tough chance, going deep, and luckily that time away from Edmond.
Leah Edmond was all over that, just didn't control it the way she wanted to, but I like that smart shot by Courtney Schwann, deep over that right back defender's head.
Orlando hitting 269 right now to 250 for Atlanta. Working on Edmond, well up to it in terms of reception. Tempo to the outside, off speed, covered by Abercrombie, who had 23 digs in a match earlier in the season. Another good first contact by Edmond, and the misconnection, that ball out of bounds.
Atlanta trying to work their middles in transition. I like that idea. Vicini tried to go deep to that corner, but defensive stops for Orlando have been the difference.
Timeout is called, the second now by Coach Banworth. Atlanta will talk things over again. They've won 5 in a row. You can tell how important that was. They improved to 10-8 so far, where Orlando is at 12-6. They have won at one point earlier on before they lost 2 in a row. They had won a record-setting 9 straight. And right now the hottest team in the league is Omaha, and you and I will take a quick trip over to Omaha tomorrow morning. Not too early. It's not too bad, thanks to your travel planning, Ollie McPeak. Thank you for saving me. We will have Indy taking on Omaha tomorrow.
Indy trying to figure out their lineup without Lecator member Mena going forward. Nina Chaich has been impressive all season long. She's been getting a rest. And Carly Scott has really stepped up for Indy. So looking forward to that matchup in Omaha tomorrow.
They are going to really miss Lecator member Mena. Was having no exaggeration that she was right there with Abercrombie and a couple of others. One of the leaders, clearly, when you look at her numbers for a most valuable player. Really, really a shame that she's going to be out for the rest of the year. Got injured last year, remember, in the semifinals as well. Also an ankle injury.
But if you're Indy, you've got a ton of young talent on your team, and they can, you know, do their best to fill the gaps.
Top 4 teams out of the 8 make it in to the semifinals and then on to the finals for $1 million. Shampoo, back row, Abercrombie, not a lot of heat. Van de Weyde. Boy, really smart tactical volleyball, and that ball is crushed. Talked about Leah Edmond. How superb is she out of the back row?
I love Leah Edmond on that big set, that pipe down the middle. She is something special, and she really spreads things out in transition when that's an option.
There is Aiko Jones, formerly out of the University of Louisville. You know, I just really appreciate how smart and how well prepared these teams are. If they don't have it going, they get the ball on the setter. They tip the opposite to the floor. They tip the left side attacker to the floor. It's a very, very tactical opening set. There is Montserrat, there is Scully, once again stepping in for the injured Georgia Murphy. Again out for the year. Good reaction by Schwann. Van de Weyde, a big aggressive swing by Aiden White.
Lindsay Van der Weyde brings a lot to this Orlando Valkyrie team. She is not afraid, out of system sets, to take a big rip. This set's way inside, it's a little off. She gets her feet down, takes a big rip off the block.
Oh, nice reaction, good play by the middle blocker Brown. Last year voted the best middle blocker in the entire league. And then Pia Timmer out of Germany and Washington State University threw a seam in the block.
Atlanta vibe, really pushing that ball outside, working through that seam. Natalie Foster has to chase as a defender at the net.
Schwann, expert reception. And setting up Natalie Foster once again, but it all started with a first contact by Schwann, number 4.
Courtney Schwann is really important to Orlando's first contact, just puts that right in Shampoo's hand, and then Natalie Foster uses that length to score at the net in the middle.
Foster second in the league in attack efficiency at 353. Off the edge, nice turn by Aiko Jones, number 15 in black, out of Kingston, Jamaica.
Aiko Jones has a big presence defensively, puts up a huge block, and Atlanta needs some more stops in this match.
21-18 is the advantage by the visitors from Orlando. Again, the 3rd meeting of the year. Orlando has won the first 2 pretty easily the first time around. In the second one, Van de Weyde with a tap down there, and Marley Monserrat thought that ball was on Atlanta's side, but the first referee says, I disagree respectfully.
Shampoo's really pushing the middle, especially when Natalie Foster's up there. Doesn't matter if they're out of system.
Van de Weyde now with 5 kills on 8 swings and playing very good defense along with Schwann. Abercrombie stabbed by Hintz. And Schwann running out of real estate. Really good high swing off the top of the block by Edmond.
I think Orlando's doing a nice job getting in front of Edmond, getting some nice defensive touches. That can be frustrating for a hitter like Leah Edmond, who loves to hit around a block.
Edmond now 5 kills on 12 swings. Dug by Jones. Scully, very good all-around player, plays as an outside hitter, and now at the libero. Good set to Jones. Oh, look at Abercrombie slice that off. Perfect set by Hintz, and missed by Edmond out of bounds. Unforced error, and Edmond knew it right away.
Brittany Abercrombie had to dig in that rally and then had to work in transition. Didn't get her best swing because she was still working to get out, but she's been impressive defensively in that right part of the court.
Foster and the Valkyries now 2 points away from the opening set. Already has a couple of aces and missed that out of bounds. Speaking to the coaching staff for Orlando, her error rate, as hard as she serves, her error rate is only 17%. And you compare that and offset it with all the aces, I take that all day long. Nice play. Shampoo with a one-handed save.
Shampoo's so impressive. When she's in the front row, she just goes up and gets that ball. Tight pass by Kaz Brown. One hand. Corey Lewis, the middle blocker on the other side of the net, jumped with the setter.
Set point number 1. Good pass to Monserrat, and that tuck down inside. Nicely done by Corey Lewis. Outstanding rookie out of Florida State.
Corey Lewis is dynamic, quick, both sides of the ball. She's got a bright future for Atlanta.
This is new to her, the serving phase. Didn't play a lot in this area. Substitution rules very different between international volleyball, the Pro Volleyball Federation, and the NCAA. Set point, and Timmer turns it down the line and missed that wide. Bolt 6 with a quick call, and a miss by Leah Edmond, a miss by Pia Timmer, the 2 outside attackers, and Orlando takes the opening set.
Last couple swings for Atlanta. They're trying to attack Shampoo as a blocker down that line, but missing.
We will step aside here in Atlanta. Brittany Abercrombie and the Orlando Valkyries trying to put an end to Atlanta's 4-match winning streak. 2 teams very much with the playoffs in their focus. Back with the second set right after this. Our first set stats are sponsored by FICO. The Pro Volleyball Federation is proud to partner with FICO to champion financial literacy. PVF athletes will engage with the league and its communities to provide financial education. Holly, the numbers don't lie. That was a very smooth opening set for Orlando.
Orlando outserved, outblocked, outhit Atlanta. In that first set, they had more stops and then the surface pressure, especially Natalie Foster with 2 aces. But what I've been most impressed, 9 kills from the left side for Orlando. Usually their offense runs through the middle and the right, but so far it's been the left side, and they've had to make that adjustment because teams are keen on their middle and right side attack.
Yeah, with Brittany Abercrombie out on the right side, she'll hit out there in all 6 rotations, front or back court, and Amy Pauley and her staff were talking to us about that exactly. They needed more production off the left side. Remember, Van de Weyde is on the floor for Adora Anai, not able to join the team in Atlanta for this match, and she'd been having a very fine season. So 1-0, the visitors leading it, and here is Pia Timmer to start things off. The receiving has been very solid by both teams. That ball dug, but not kept on her own side. That's a reception mistake, and Monserrat knows it.
Marley Monserrat has done some really nice balls, but too many going tight to the net. You want to pull that off, let your teammates set that second ball.
Good start for Van de Weyde, who was exceptional in the opening set. Partnered with Schwann on the outside, Courtney Schwann. And that ball is killed by Vicini out of the middle.
Monserrat to Vicini, really nice connection, and it's so important to have that middle attack because it's a high percentage play. It's quick, it's hard to stop, and Vicini able to score out of the middle one-on-one.
An NCAA champion back in 2019 at Stanford, and I was joking with her when we had Atlanta last. I said, Lexington, Kentucky, and you don't go and play for the Wildcats? And Craig Skinner, she said, Paul, look, I got into Stanford. What a silly question. That is a hittable ball for Van de Weyde. Good block deflection by Lewis. And snapping right over the top of the block.
Both these teams have young, long middles who've got so much upside. Here you see the Atlanta vibe going in the gap to Corey Lewis. Just high snap, just got a huge block in front of her. Still keeps it high, doesn't bring it down on the attack.
Lewis is long and really a high flyer, and really starting to grow in that phase of the game as a blocker. Just underway here in the second in suburban Atlanta. Van de Weyde over the top of the block, and that's her first error. She was 6 of 10 prior to that, now 6 of 11. An error, volleyball statistics, a ball blocked or a ball hit out of bounds.
One of the things I like about Lindsay Van der Weyde, she points at her setter, great set, my fault. She took a good rip at it.
A lot of service errors early on for Orlando. That's one area that they really cleaned up, because Natalie Foster has the green light no matter what.
Yes, she does.
Vicini will go to the sideline. Here is Van de Weyde. Block deflection, that time by Edmond along with Lewis. Ball left a little bit inside. Tough chance for Edmond. Boy, they're just hanging the ball up to Corey Lewis and letting her go right over the block. What a good dig that time by Shampoo. And speaking of how good, Aiko Jones off speed.
Orlando worried about Corey Lewis in the middle with good reason, and that opens things up on the right side for Aiko Jones. You see Natalie Foster just a little bit late to make that move, and Aiko Jones sees the opening.
You know, we talked about the depth in Indy. We talk about the depth in Omaha now with Allie Baton-Horst and whatnot. The depth on both of these teams. Lindsay Van de Weyde coming in, but Aiko Jones is showing that she can step right in and play at a very high level.
Being the second year of the Pro Volleyball Federation, you look down the bench, there's a bunch of all-stars on both teams, so the depth is really impressive, and the coaches have not been afraid to use that talent.
And a lot of very young players in their rookie season or in their second season. Foster's a rookie, stepping right in and playing at a high level. Good block touch that time by Brown. Ball set a little bit tight, and Courtney Schwann, really, really good. Do you defend her differently because she does throw in a lot of off speed?
I think you have to. She doesn't have the biggest arm on the court, but she's so smart and will pick you apart. She can hit any part of the court.
Tied at 4. Orlando won the opening set 25-21, and that missed by Foster out of bounds. And anytime she gets off the line, having served only once or maybe twice, you take a deep breath and say thank you very much. Leah Edmond, 33 aces so far on the year, 35 blocks, another very good all-around season. Henson Monserrat almost collided. Good coverage that time by Monserrat. And blocked by Kaz Brown. Superb by number 11 in white.
Kaz Brown, number 11 in white, patrols the net. Her eye work, the way she just hovers and closes. Watch her hands press back. Really nice hand work to stop that attack.
Adding to her total, it was 3rd best in the league so far through 18 matches. Edmond, and that's going to be a net violation called against Orlando.
The back row attack for Leah Edmond just gives her space to see the block and just bring the heat. She's been so impressive. I think that's something Atlanta could use more.
I agree with you. And among the outside hitters, do you think she's the best back row hitter in the PVF so far this year?
I would have to say yes.
As example there, nice dig that time by Scully. And I made the point of the best outside hitter as opposed to somebody who plays in the opposite by Abercrombie. Yeah, Leah Edmond is a special talent. Her father is the high performance and strength and conditioning coach at the University of Kentucky. Scully, perfect pass, and that ball by Kaz Brown over the top.
Shannon Scully is known for having that fantastic platform. So she's a nice addition in the back row, although they will miss Georgia Murphy.
Oh, big time, because again, statistically, she was by far not by far, but she was the best passer in the league. Timmer again, away from Shampoo.
Atlanta, when they get that perfect pass, they run it fast. And I think Atlanta's sped up their offense. They look really good in system.
We've come to our first technical timeout of the second set. Atlanta looking to respond, down a set, but on top, 8-6 here at home. Brittany Abercrombie and Leah Edmond. Holly, we focused on them right before first serve and with very, very good reason. But Abercrombie, third match in a row that her numbers have been down.
And teams are keen on her. She might be tired too. Think about how long she's been putting up these numbers for Orlando. And when we talked to Amy Pauley, she's like, look, we had a really long last month and we've played a lot. We might need a rest. And they talked about using more players as well.
Abercrombie has been superb, but in terms of her efficiency, she was the only non-middle to be in the top 10 in terms of efficiency. And after the last couple of matches, she's dropped out of that. Still awfully good. As an opposite in this league to be hitting 287, she's first in kills per set and first in points per set.
Watch this feed. Shampoo low and fast along the net. Cass Brown knows it's coming. She's ready.
Shampoo is second in the league to Sydney Hilly for the Indy Ignite at 11.4 assists per set. Very experienced setter.
Leah Edmond missed that one long, but I'll tell you, she brings a lot of heat flying in for the back row.
Wonderful arm. Outside quickly to Timmer, who finds another seam. You gotta like that matchup, Timmer against Shampoo.
Timmer's gonna attack that smaller blocker in front of her, but they double up. They run Vicini in the gap, which holds Foster a little bit longer and allows Timmer to go to work on Shampoo.
And Timmer comes through with a service ace.
I think that's the first ace for Atlanta so far tonight.
Natalie Foster and Orlando have two. Pretty good pass by Van de Weyden and a wonderful set. Look at the dig by Hens. Oh, smart shot by Monserrat. Very clever to get a chance to restart the point. And then once again, it's an outside working on Shampoo.
And that ball was set tight to the net in transition, but Leah Edmond goes up aggressive.
Seven kills now on 20 swings for Leah Edmond, last year's MVP. Oh, good read by Edmond defensively. Van de Weyden. Hens again. Perfect dig. Morgan Hens doing some libero magic.
Morgan Hens owning that left side of the court and the corner. Watch her fly into that ball, put it in her setter's hands, and then Monserrat fast, flat set out to Leah Edmond. Another great dig. I mean, we talk about how special Morgan Hens is, but the control to get that back up to your setter so they can transition it back for a point.
Both of us have some summer travel plans, and we were talking about utilizing our frequent flyer miles. She should get some the way she flies around the court.
She certainly should.
Yeah, Morgan Hens, 3 times a national champion, Libero of the Year in the inaugural season last year for the Pro Volleyball Federation. Most outstanding player of the 2018 national championship match. A very unusual award to go to a libero. It has happened both at the international level and the collegiate level.
Morgan Hens is special not only defensively, but the way she passes the ball. Some teams will even scheme to hit away from her.
56% positive in reception so far on the season. Both of these teams are playing their 19th match. Atlanta is 10-8. Orlando's won 4 in a row. They're 12-6. Hence the leading digger so far on the year, 4.5 per set. Also a lot of assists. Nice cover by Scully. Aiko Jones saying, what else? Why not?
Orlando did not realize Abercrombie was in the back row, and they lost an opportunity on that transition set.
Pia Timmer has an ace earlier on, and now the largest lead so far of the second set for Atlanta at 5. Short serve, make it 6, and another ace for Timmer.
Van der Weide and Courtney Schwann collided on that play. Schwann trying to walk it off.
Nora Sis out of Creighton will come on wearing number 22. She is a rookie, and Amy Pauley telling us that she had a wonderful week of practice. I hope that Schwann is okay. Yeah, Courtney Schwann is getting some attention in the backcourt. That is her husband, Giacomo. Seems to be walking okay, so hoping for the very best.
Looked like a good Charlie horse,
yeah, which
can be scary.
Well, I already talked about the season-ending injury to Georgia Murphy, and also as well, unfortunately, Lecator member minute. Wonderful response. Foster, number 13 in white on the slide.
Shampoo has such a nice connection with both middles. The pace, the height with what she needs to set it. Gets that nice and high, fast to the right pin for Natalie Foster to score.
Reception by Timmer. Perfect set in transition, cut inside, dug by Jones. Smart read by Timmer. And Jones missed it out of bounds, number 15 in black. Be interesting to see if Atlanta goes after Sis when they go back in service. Had a fantastic career at Creighton. Lost to Penn State in the regional finals. Nittany Lions, the eventual national champions. Van der Weide threw a seam in the block.
I've been so impressed with Lindsay Van der Weide taking some really hard swings. Some attackers will get tentative, try and move it around the court, but she is blasting away. That's a low seam swing that if Atlanta closes up that block, that's the stuff block.
A couple of matches into the starting lineup for Anai, 33 of 67. Those are really good numbers in this league off the outside, the number of balls you hit in trans. Ball to Hintz. That's a mistake, and Leah Edmond, what a dig in the backcourt. And Hintz again, just doing, again, libero kind of magic. I think that was Nora Sis who got that dig out of the middle back.
It's interesting. Why do you want to serve Morgan Hintz? I mean, Atlanta's in system. Maybe that's what Orlando wants defensively. But the scheming on both sides of the net, both coaching staff, they know the tendencies when in system and out of system.
Shampoo again, 4-0 run, and that's put to an end by Vicini. Again, in the lineup for her blocking prowess, so any offense is really a bonus.
Vicini going one-on-one with Foster. The block for Orlando spread, worrying about that wide set.
Vicini had 5 kills on 14 swings. Last Friday against San Diego, no errors. Good pass by Van der Weide. Block touch, nicely done by Lewis. And good play by Shampoo. Sometimes the best plays are the ones you don't make.
Definitely. You see Atlanta try and go the higher, slower tempo to Corey Lewis in transition. She's just not able to get on top of that with her hand.
We'll have another technical timeout at 16. You're watching the Pro Volleyball Federation coming your way on the ROKU Sports Channel. Third meeting between these two teams. Orlando won the first easily, and the second was right down to the wire. 15-13 in the fifth. Lewis again. Wow, that is really impressive.
So good. I mean, big window. As a setter, you love to set those big, long middles who jump high. Look at the window. So fun. One-on-one gets on top for the Atlanta point. Let's talk about the hottest player in the PVF right now, Ajani Taylor. Opposite has been lighting things up. 5.6 kills per set. She had 31 kills to set a record the other night, and 17 kills last night, and we'll see her in Omaha tomorrow. But she has been so impressive, and not only offensively, we talked about her offense, her defense, one of the best blockers in the PVF that's not a middle.
Yeah, very, very impressive performance, and has put herself I think in the MVP conversation as well, particularly the way she's played. 31 kills, 35 points. Leah Tuaniga off the top of the tape. Nice play by Foster. The double sub on the floor now for Atlanta. Tuaniga, very, very capable. Edmond, speaking of that, what a swing by Leah Edmond into the cross court.
Leah Edmond got all of that, saw a well-formed block in front of her and turns it sharp inside the block.
Number 24, Anna Dixon on the floor now as well, out of Missouri. Rookie outside hitter and opposite. She came in with Tuaniga. So Monserrat to the sideline along with Aiko Jones. Tuaniga again. What a pass by Scully. Oh, that's beautiful offense.
When you can pass like that, Shampoo can do whatever she wants. Finally able to isolate Brittany Abercrombie on that right side. It hasn't been easy. Atlanta's been all over them.
There's Foster again, and that ball might have been, what a pass. Incredible reception by Edmond. Slowed by Abercrombie. And then that off the top of the tape, Anna Dixon will take that one, number 24 in black.
Really impressive recovery, and Atlanta able to score another point with Leah Edmond, one of the best servers in the PVF on the line.
18-14 is the advantage now. You see kills and errors. That cancels out, so Abercrombie not having her usual night so far. Taken 22 swings as Brittany Abercrombie and scored a net 0 points right now for Orlando. And they're still up 1-0. And that ball missed just out of bounds.
Leah Edmond really worked coming into this season on her serve. We've seen that heater, and then we've seen a little off speed as well, trying to yo-yo the Orlando serve receive.
And Abercrombie misses that one. 4 service errors the beginning of this match. In the opening set, still won by Orlando. They've been pretty clean in that phase. Corey Lewis out of Florida State will go back to serve. And she returns the favor. Really tough on a young athlete. Talked to Karch Kirai, who coached our women's Olympic team through a number of different cycles. But you get an athlete like Lewis, who's never served, who's never played the back row. Here's Nora Sis serving for the first time. Number 3 overall pick. Looking for Timmer, no, right side. Big arm that time once again by Dixon.
Anna Dixon spreading the offense, and Mia Tuaniga, we know she likes to go fast to both pins, stressing the block on the other side. Watch this quick set to Anna Dixon on the right, who works the outside hand of Lindsay Vanderweyder, who's a very good blocker on that left side.
So that exchange in terms of when the double sub was on the floor, that won by Atlanta. Here's Monserrat back on along with Aiko Jones. Oh, that ball called by Bolt 6 right away out of their headquarters. Again, you see no lines, people, so all of those in and out calls are done very, very quickly and done electronically.
Ooh,
no matter how close they are. Well, okay, I can miss, you can miss, we all can miss. 5 service errors and 6 respectively. Orlando has 6. Timmer's got a couple of aces. Dug by Hentz. Vanderweyder is Ruth.
Aiko Jones on the court for Atlanta for that big defensive stop. That's what Atlanta Vibe needs to do better. Make stops on Orlando, and they've really helped Brittany Abercrombie to low numbers. Now making a stop on Vanderweyder on the left.
Atlanta at home, right back into this one, leading 22-17, looking to tie this match at 1 set apiece. Atlanta, remember, coming in with a record of 10-8, has won 4 in a row. This week is the AVCA's 2025 Spring Volleyball Officials Appreciation Week. We invite fans, coaches, and parents to join PVF in honoring our officials for their dedication and selfless service in growing the sport of volleyball and supporting our athletes. A couple of very good ones. Devaney McClarty is the first referee. Brianna Spain, the second referee so far on the night. Thank goodness I was never an official.
Yeah. We do have the best. Devaney's
yeah, wonderful. Yeah, Devaney is wonderful, and a really obviously important part of the game. They're just here to do the very, very best they can. Players miss plays and officials miss calls, but now with the challenge system, it's getting a lot more fail-safe. 22-17, very good response by Atlanta. Here's Timmer again. Tough serve, keeping it on Van de Weyde. Sis dug out of the back row. Leah Edmond has got all the shots in her repertoire.
But it's the defense that's keeping them in the rallies, giving those opportunities to the Atlanta Vibe to get big swings. 2 points away.
Sis has been pretty good in reception. Van de Weyde into cross court, dug of course by Hentz. Echo Jones.
Morgan Hentz does such a nice job digging that ball overhand, lifting it so her setter can push it to either pin.
Morgan Hentz already in double figures with 10 digs. Overpass. I thought a good decision by Vicini. Shampoo, what a dig by Timmer. Edmond for the set win, going off speed. Van de Weyde. Tough chance, Holly McPeak, but a very good response by the Atlanta Vibe, tying this matchup at a set apiece.
In that last set.
They take it 25-17. Morgan Hentz already in double figures in digs. Leah Edmond leading the way as well. Double figures for Leah Edmond. Also, Leah Edmond already has a double-double, 10 kills to go along with 10 digs. Third meeting of the year between Orlando and Atlanta. Orlando has won the first two. And now let's send it over to Holly McPeak.
Marley, defense was the key to the second game. What did you guys do different?
I think we just talked about our game plan a lot, and we told ourselves we're going to play mini games to 5 and not let any runs happen.
Seems like you sped up your set to the left pin. Have you been working on that?
Yes, I think we're really working up to get the go gap over the top, so to get the good speed going.
Love it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Marley Monserrat, the Monserrat family, an institution at the University of Florida, doing a very nice job running the offense. For the Atlanta Vibe, coming in at 10-8, looking for their 5th straight win. Leah Edmond leading the way already with a double-double. Gas South Arena in suburban Atlanta, tied at 1 set apiece between Orlando and the Vibe. From Atlanta, back with 3-time Olympian, bronze medalist, NCAA champion, and my partner Holly McPeak. I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks so much for joining us here on the ROKU Sports Channel. You talked to Marley Monserrat about their response. I thought defensively they were excellent. They got a lot of touches, and Morgan Hentz every night out is a key.
The defensive execution in the second set was much better, and that allowed them to score, and they were able to hold Orlando to some lower numbers. Brittany Abercrombie's been relatively quiet, and that's not easy to do.
It is not easy to do. Ask everybody around the Pro Volleyball Federation, and ask them about trying to stop Leah Edmond as well. Already with a double-double and showing lots of versatility and variety in attacking. And you talked to her about being talk to us about being a lockdown, a lockdown blocker as well.
Shutdown blocker, yes.
There you go, a blockdown locker.
whatever you said.
Here's Leah Edmond.
Leah Edmond has been impressive so far and really turned it on in the second set. She got some more transition opportunities, working inside the block, taking some big swings. We saw her out of the back row, bringing the heat, finding ways to score for the Atlanta Vibe. You see the earlier matchup numbers, February 6th and March 1st. Those were her numbers in an entire match, and just after 2 sets, she's got 10 and 10.
It was 3-0 on February 6th, won by Orlando, and a 5-setter nail-biter, 15-13 in the 5th, maybe headed that way once again. Leah Edmond and Atlanta, Orlando tied at a set apiece. Orlando will serve first, and good news, number 4 in white, Courtney Schwann, outstanding all-around player, left side attacker, collided with a teammate in that second set, had to leave the floor for a while, but she is back on. Good news for Orlando. Reception has been pretty darn good on both sides, as has been the defense. Schwann immediately having an impact. Block defense against Abercrombie has been superb for Atlanta. That ball kind of piece of the sideline. Jones with a kill, 15 in black.
Leah Edmond is facing off at the net defensively against Brittany Abercrombie. She's been able to get some really nice defensive slowdowns, and that's really been the difference.
So she's a good lockdown blocker. Blockdown locker. That too. Van de Weyden got off to a very good start, but one of the adjustments by Atlanta was slowing her down in the second. That's 7 kills, hitting just under 200. And Natalie Foster, number 13 in white. You agree that she's by far the leader as far as Rookie of the Year?
Definitely, but we've got so many. I mean, Corey Lewis on the other side of the net, and then we've got Anna DeVere and Charity Looper, and I mean, there's so many players.
Pia Timmer getting some attention. It's not supposed to be a contact sport. Contact with the ball, but we remember that we saw Brooke Nunaviller in a really serious collision earlier on in the year, but luckily she was able to come back and play. And when it first happened, we thought it was really serious.
Corey Lewis, another impressive attack out of the middle. I love her offensive range. She played at Florida State collegiately, and a lot of their offense ran through the middle because of her athletic ability and talent. 6
kills now on 12 swings. Just underway here in the third. Quick reminder, Atlanta has won 4 in a row. Orlando at one point set an all-time PVF record of winning 9 in a row before they dropped 2, but now coming off a win over San Diego. Get Foster to the line right away. Fabulous pass by Timmer. Brown, dug by Jones. Joust coming, Montserrat. Marley Montserrat, the setter. A little bit of a flex down.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Absolutely. You go, Marley Montserrat. Setters love to joust the big middle blockers. They time it a little bit better, and then the big win at the net for number 21 in black.
Sisters Allie and Madison, I mentioned the Montserrats being an institution. So was Mary Wise. Congratulations to Mary Wise, recently retired out of the University of Florida. Oh, the pokey. The pokey lives. That's going to be a net violation. Cass Brown said, yep, you're right, you got me.
Timing was a little off to Leah Edmond out of the back row, but net violation. And Atlanta still scores the point.
Scully's been really good in reception in the absence of Georgia Murphy. Wish Georgia Murphy all the best. A very, very serious knee injury on Monday. PCL, MCL, ACL. Wish her all the best. Wonderful player.
Watch Shampoo feed Kaz Brown. So much confidence. That connection between setter middle blocker for Orlando is spot on.
Working on Edmond for the ace. Good serve by Brittany Abercrombie.
Brittany Abercrombie forcing Leah Edmond to go deep to her left. Really nice, deep, effective serve for the ace.
Hence stepping in front. Not a perfect pass, but pretty positive. Ball set tight, you could hear it. Wonderful swing that time by number 22, Lewis. She plays so high.
Courtney Schwann, very strong left side blocker, was out there ready, but Lewis just elevates and gets a piece of the block.
Yeah, that is a mismatch in terms of altitude above the net. Good block by Timmer, along with Vicini, working on Abercrombie. And Abercrombie not quite there. Now with her 5th hitting error against 4 kills.
A late step in by Courtney Schwann to transition, set that ball.
Wet spot will be taken care of as Corey Lewis out of Florida State goes back to serve. We come to Atlanta one more time, and I'm going to make sure, I'm going to ask Corey Lewis what she touches and how high she jumps. I know she's long, but it's got a wonderful, quick vertical. Good set that time by Edmond. Swing, but just out of bounds by Timmer.
Leah
Love the
Edmond.
swing, just a little wide.
Yeah, Leah Edmond has proven a couple times in transition. She's got beautiful hands, and that's an important skill to be able to step in, set that second ball when you need to.
We'll have a technical timeout at 8. Oh, what a block. Kaz Brown, last year's best middle blocker in the league. Shows you why.
Kaz Brown so strong with her eye work, identifying where this set's going and getting her hands over the net quickly.
That's a really good call, Holly, because you could see her focus that time on Marley Monserrat. Violation called against Orlando, and if I'm thinking back, that was a bang-bang play, but I think it was set from inside the 3-meter line by Yosia and then taken over in his attack. Hence again, tight, Hence with a cover. Very good set by Shampoo. Lindsay Vanderwater said, we got a challenge. Very adamant that there was a touch off the block for Atlanta.
Orlando is
Love the
challenging
confidence of Lindsay Vanderwater going to her coach.
So once again, if you're not familiar with the challenge system, it's run by Bolt 6, same system used at the Olympic Games. Brianna Spain, the second referee along the sideline right next to us, communicating with Bolt 6 with the looks and the angles that she wants to see. Challenging touch against the block of Atlanta. There's Lindsay Vanderwater, was absolutely adamant about it. It's up on the big screen, and adamant indeed. That off of number 12, McKenna Vicini, so point possession. Vanderwater joining that one. As Kaz Brown will go back to serve, tied at 7, so we'll have our technical timeout after this play. Oh, and what a block. 1-on-1. That's one that Natalie Foster is going to enjoy and remember.
Watch Natalie Foster, the rookie, number 13 in white, go to work. And she's trying to stop one of the best back row hitters in the country. Up and over, takes a step, comes back, way over, stuff block, Natalie Foster.
Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on the ROKU Sports Channel. Centennial Park, a famous and infamous place during the Atlanta Olympic Games.
True.
The games you remember very well.
I do.
Famous because it was the site, of course, of the focal point of the Atlanta Olympics, and infamous because, of course, the tragic bombing there as well.
Correct.
Big block by Foster gave them the advantage of the first of 2 technical timeouts. Quality contact by Hentz. Not so much by Aiko Jones. That's a tough chance. Pia Timmer just slugging that ball right into the block.
I'm not sure how Pia Timmer got her arm up and firing on that ball. She didn't have a lot of room, but attacked the smallest blocker in Shampoo, and her hands were not pressed over the net.
Timmer already with a couple of aces so far on the evening. Abercrombie, a much needed, we haven't said it much, a much needed kill for Brittany Abercrombie. She has carried such a heavy load physically throughout the course of the season.
The block, the defense, everybody knows where it's going. They're in good spots to try and slow her down, making it hard.
Look at the tempo to the outside. You talked to Marley Monserrat about that after the second set. That is really tough to stop.
Especially when you've got a big arm like Leah Edmond waiting outside for it.
Edmond now with 12 kills on 33 swings, tied at 9, and tied at a set apiece. Nice dig by Monserrat, and off the miscue at the defensive end. Abercrombie with a tap down.
You can tell Atlanta has stepped up their defense, their communication, bodies on the floor every play trying to touch that ball defensively.
You look at the defensive end, Atlanta is 7th out of 8 teams in terms of total blocks, but they are 2nd in digs. Corey Lewis again.
That time Orlando put 2 blockers in front of Corey Lewis, trying to force her to go cutback, and she does with success. You see Courtney Schwann come in to help. Natalie Foster needs to get on that ball more with her hands.
Iko Jones has come on and played very well for Merritt Beeson, who's been struggling, and that ball off speed. Nice choice by Foster.
That's not an easy ball to put away. The ball was set fast but low. Foster dropped her arm, gets her hand on it, and clears the block.
6'4" rookie, 14th pick overall out of SMU after playing her first 3 or 4 years. You never know now with COVID at Wichita State. Back at the line, leading the league now with 43 aces. Leah Edmond is 2nd with 33. Well, she's missed a few out of bounds tonight. Doesn't miss very often. Once again, has recorded an ace in every match but 2 throughout the season. Has 7 aces in the last 2 matches. Wonderful offense. Teams taking turns, really dialing it up.
That time, Courtney Schwann brings the heat down the line. Marley Monserrat was reaching in to close the seam as a blocker. You see her reach in, and that opens up that line swing down the line.
Good to see Schwann back on the floor. Had to leave after she got dinged, colliding with one of her teammates. Nice hustle by Abercrombie. Timmer quickly to the outside, block deflection, nicely done by Shampoo. And back to Kaz Brown. Boy, that is hard work by number 11 in transition.
You see the block deflections creating point and transition opportunities. Kaz Brown getting rewarded for all that defensive work with the set behind her setter.
Kaz Brown now with 8 kills on 13 swings. Only 1 error, hitting well over 500. Tough serve. Very tough indeed for Abercrombie.
Brittany Abercrombie finding ways to score for her team. That's her 2nd ace.
Edmond, perfect pass. Abercrombie can't quite get there. I love that wrinkle going kind of like just a lob back set to Corey Lewis.
When you've got a high jumper who plays at a high altitude, you just want to put it up there and let her go get it.
Abercrombie got her steps in on that particular chase.
Yes, she did. Like she doesn't do enough work already.
Exactly. When I've got a moment, I'm going to get into the computer and get her total number of attempts. How many swings? I remember we did a match. She was taking almost 30% of all of the swings for Orlando. Perfect dig by Edmond. Monserrat can't win 2 jousts, can she? Timmer is down. What a dig by Van de Weyde. That roll shot again. That is a sweet cinnamon roll.
Lindsay Van der Weyde doing so much for this Orlando team. Watch this dig. Middle back puts it right in her setter's hand. And then the beautiful roll shot by Courtney Schwann of Orlando.
Both teams racking up the digs. Shampoo out of it. Monserrat still going quick, well off the net. Dug by Yosia. Van de Weyde off the edge and out of bounds. Smart shot.
I like that Shampoo's pushing the left side more. I talked about the first set. Orlando scored 9 points on the left side, and that's really important to taking the pressure off Brittany Abercrombie. Orlando up 16-12 in this 3rd set.
both teams hitting at exactly the same clip. 252 efficiency, 55 digs for Atlanta, 50 digs right now for Orlando. A very even battle enjoyed by young and old, large and small.
The difference for me has been Orlando's been better defensively in this third set, giving themselves opportunities to score more.
5-1 run. There is Courtney Schwann. Good to see her back in the lineup. Played at the University of Washington and then very, very well overseas, particularly in Italy, where now she makes her off-season home with her husband Giacomo in Rome. And a service ace by Schwann.
Not only did she do well as a volleyball player, she found a husband over there. That's pretty good.
We talked to Giacomo a couple of weeks ago, and they met, and then Courtney went to a different team that was a long way away, and Giacomo said, I got to keep this going, and he used to drive all over Italy to watch her play. They've been married now. Pia Timmer off the edge as Marley Monserrat will go back to the line. I thought Monserrat really played well. Kind of an unknown after she had taken a year away from the indoor game. Came back to Atlanta, running the off. Oh, nice block. Aiko Jones along with Vicini.
Lindsay Vanderweyder likes to take those big swings, but Aiko Jones closing up that seam. It looked like there was a gap between she and Vicini, but watch the left hand get over the net defensively for Atlanta.
Nice job by number 15. Kaz Brown missed that out of bounds. That's what we call begging for a touch.
Well, that was a tiny bit low. Kaz Brown tried to get on top of it, but missed it long.
Monserrat again, who was all Pro Volleyball Federation last year, led Atlanta into the playoffs. Back to Kaz Brown, and that is going to be a carried ball. I like, what do you think of the call, Holly?
I don't know. I think it's a little tight, to be honest with you. You liked it.
I thought it was a good call.
It was a slam dunk, but we've seen a lot of slam dunks this season.
We have. Now in the NCAA tournament, we're going to see.
Yeah, we're seeing those too during March Madness.
I thought that Kaz Brown gained an unfair advantage on that particular play.
Okay.
She was not in a good spot set-wise.
Okay. It was a little sticky.
It was a little sticky. Vanderweyder almost to a double-double. Shampoo with 27 assists. That's nothing new for her. Second in the league to only Sydney Hilly out of Indy. Leah Edmond a little quiet now. Remember, she had a double-double after 2. 4-0 run for Atlanta. Talked about both teams hitting 253. They're siding out at 57%, 53%. Very, very close third set. Team looking for the advantage. Tied at 1 set apiece. It was 25-21. Orlando in the opening set, and then a big comeback by Monserrat, Edmond, and Atlanta 25-17. Tough serve. What a good pass by Scully. Timmer cutting inside.
Lindsay Vanderweyder thought there was a defender playing wide behind her and let that ball go. Hence, so good with her platform transition setting. Timmer finds that angle.
Yeah, nobody home. Scully had guessed area 5 into the deep cross court. Back to Brown again. Smart shot. Off the block and out of bounds.
Kaz Brown, such a great competitor, struts back to that back line, fired up to score some points, hopefully, from the service line.
Kaz Brown played with Leah Edmond at the University of Kentucky. Quick tempo. Love that matchup if you're Atlanta.
And Pia Timmer has Shampoo all by herself, and Shampoo's the smallest blocker on the court. That's what you want to do as a setter. Recognize that and then isolate Pia Timmer on Shampoo.
Timmer now 8 kills, working on Vanderweyder. And missed that one into the net. How tough is it to be in reception and then immediately, and Shampoo had no other choice, right back to Vanderweyder.
Yeah, it's hard. You got to work to get your feet outside, but I think Aiko Jones defensively her presence up there is the factor as well.
Really a good run right now for Atlanta. That ball by Brittany Abercrombie found a piece of the sideline.
Abercrombie out of the back row, going down that line. She's got so much range both ways in that angle. And this one, look at the location deep down that line.
Taylor Head has come on, the 5'10" rookie out of mostly Arkansas and most recently Florida State. Played with Corey Lewis and Leah Edmond. Okay, I'll take it.
Atlanta Vibe doing a nice job running it faster, creating opportunities for their left side hitters.
And Leah Edmond offering up an assist to the hard workers out here drying up a wet spot. This one on the Orlando side.
Well, that's important. You don't want anybody getting hurt on the court. You see a wet spot, you need to point it out.
Yeah, we've already had some serious injuries so far this year and hope for none more. 20-19. What a good response by Atlanta. They trailed by as many as 4. That ball kept alive. Foster with a reaction. Right side to Jones into the floor. And the run continues.
Atlanta's been able to put some pressure on Orlando on that first contact. Vanderweider did pass the ball the way she wanted to, and that put Atlanta ahead of the point.
Nora assist, number 22 in white, coming on. Replacing Lindsay Vanderweider. Vicini is going to go right after her. Nice play by Schwann to step in. Boy, welcome to the contest. Nice dig by Head. Shampoo out of the play. Scully. Oh, nice play by Head again. Having an impact. A rare unforced error in that connection.
Taylor Head playing middle back for Atlanta Vibe. Keeping that rally alive, but yes, just a little too low to Corey Lewis. You want to get it up high because that's where she has the advantage.
That was a big break for Orlando. Here is Sis. Boy, Head has really been a difficult. Look at that. Taylor Head comes in, passes a couple of dimes, and also digs the ball out of middle back.
I talked about it earlier, the depth on both these teams. You've got all-stars who can come in and have an impact in this match. Taylor Head, just a dime of a pass, and then love the feed by Monserrat to Edmond on the left.
Edmond now 13, make it 14 kills on 38 swings. Anna Dixon on, part of the double sub to Aniga as well. Good play by Schwann to keep that ball off the floor. Edmond. Shampoo is out. Abercrombie having to take another swing. Dug by Tuaninga. Scully really composed first contact. There's the roll shot again. That is such a well-disguised roll shot by Schwann.
It's so good, and she's so smart at picking the right time to use it. Watch Courtney Schwann work to get it. Big block, they're both in the air, and just the Midas touch to get that ball to drop quickly over the block.
Timeout is called after the roll. Nice job by Nora Sis coming in for Vanderweider. And Courtney Schwann played collegiately at the University of Washington. Long career, particularly overseas in Italy.
If I remember correctly, I feel like she was the Pac-12 Player of the Year her senior year. She was really impressive for the Washington Huskies, and she really does it all. Her first contact, both defensively and serve receive, helps this Orlando offense run. But tonight, look at her offensive numbers, hitting 400, and we've seen 3 or 4 of those really well-disguised roll shots drop over the net.
That is such a bonus for Orlando, because folks at home, you watch her receive serve. So composed. Her platform is so quiet. She's out there for defense. She's out there for serve reception. She's out there for hitter coverage and all those things.
And her left side blocking as well.
Very good. Good point.
She spends her summers in Rome playing beach volleyball, and I think that helps your all-around game. You're playing in the wind, and you got to pass the whole court.
22-21. Another typical match in the Pro Volleyball Federation, just like we had last night. Edmond a little bit late to that. Dixon took a chance. I don't mind the swing.
I agree. Aggressive air. At least she wasn't tentative. Leah Edmond slid under that ball that caught the tape. Almost a for sure ace.
And look who is at the line. Foster, that serve off the top of the tape. Already has a couple of aces on the night, but she's missed a little bit more than usual. Good pass by Edmond. And Corey Lewis, either setter, Monserrat or Tuaninga, is able to get the ball to Lewis.
And I think the faster offense for Atlanta really helps make the setter, the way they run the offense, more similar, because Mia Tuaninga, well known for running that fast ball.
23-22, perfect pass. Blocked by Lewis. Tight, tough chance for Shampoo. She is such an aggressive setter. Shampoo really worked hard to get there.
Kaz Brown knew she had to get up because Shampoo's there with her hands, and even without a full approach, quick arm scores for Orlando in the middle.
A little wink to her coaching staff on the sideline. Tied at 23. Timmer. Wow, big swing through the block and down for Pia Timmer. Set point now for the Atlanta Vibe.
Orlando calls the timeout.
It's interesting about the connection between either setter and Corey Lewis. This morning, it was this morning, wasn't it? No, it was this afternoon. At serve and pass, they spent a good little while throwing the ball, not inside the 3-meter line, but at or about the 3-meter line or beyond, but still trying to get the ball to Lewis. That lob into the middle in transition.
We've got two really talented rookie middles in this game, and Corey Lewis for Atlanta, you want to use her as much as possible. She can hit that slower tempo. She's not a one-trick pony. She can do so much more, and Atlanta Vibe know they want to use her that way.
Corey Lewis hitting .366 in terms of efficiency. That's the best in the Pro Volleyball Federation, and right behind is Natalie Foster.
High contact point, driving that ball, and also a fast arm. I've been really impressed with her defense as well, doing a good job laterally closing those blocks defensively.
Untapped as a resource in the blocking phase. And got to go back to serve. Set point number 1 for the 2-1 advantage for Atlanta. Pretty tough serve. Dug by Lewis. Timmer. Oh, nice play by Leah Edmond stepping in. Leah Edmond, after Mia Tuaninga was taken out of the play.
Leah Edmond playing like a libero. She actually jumped over the line too, like she wasn't allowed to do that. But I've seen 3-4 beautiful handsets from Leah Edmond for big points for Atlanta Vibe.
So Leah Edmond riding a double-double, but most importantly, dishing up a masterpiece. After a very, very close third set, Atlanta took it 25-23. They're on top, Holly McPeak, 2-1. It's been really a good battle between these two teams.
And we knew it would be. Both teams know each other well. They're in good places defensively. It's just who's going to execute at a higher level, and it's really been about the defense.
Pia Timmer, Leah Edmond in quite a battle. Courtney Schwann on the outside along with Van de Weide. We'll look to see if Van de Weide stays in. She does not. Nora Sis does. And looking for a piece of the block, and she got it, number 22 in white. Number 4 overall pick out of Creighton. A touch was called, and opening point of the third, make it the 4th set. And we're going to have a challenge that there was no touch on the Atlanta side.
Just reading the body language of Nora Sis, I don't think she thought there was a touch.
No block touch on the play.
Two challenges to start each set. As long as you are correct, you have an unlimited number. That ball is out of bounds. Good use of the challenge by Caleb Anworth. And Atlanta is on the board first here in the fourth. Coaching staff for Atlanta telling us, excuse me, for Orlando, that no assists. Amy Pauley specifically has had a really good week of practice. Timmer is blocked.
That time Orlando put up 3 blockers on this back row attack because Leah Edmond was on the ground to dig the ball, so late getting her feet there, and that allows 3 players to get up at the net, but Natalie Foster owning it.
Foster, really good attacking numbers. Obviously, it's not an exaggeration. Spectacular serving numbers, but also as the season has gone along, he's blocking a lot more balls.
And that's the hardest skill as a middle attacker, middle blocker, the blocking, the defense, and catching up to the pace of the game at this elite level.
Good hustle by Atlanta. Leah Edmond coming right over to our table. Could have used just a little more real estate. Natalie Foster registers the kill.
I like the defensive effort. Both teams really know how important each of those defensive stops or slowdowns mean to their team.
First look at the ace leader, Natalie Foster, back at the line here in the fourth. She has yet to go on one of those patented big runs. Foster, very good set. Off speed. Abercrombie not there yet. Nice play by Monserrat. Who's going to get ahead in the point? Wonderful transition set. Nicely done by Morgan Hintz there, but missed out of bounds by Edmond.
Leah Edmond bringing some heat on that. Tried to get a piece of the block, just misses it wide. Little frustrated with that swing, but an aggressive one.
Morgan Hintz has 64 assists on the year, and very impressive as a transition setter, and vitally important. What a pass. Corey Lewis missed it out of bounds.
Atlanta ran the play they wanted to. It was nice and high. Lewis just missed it long, trying to hit it deep to that corner.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Monserrat go right back to it if the pass is good. Quick early lead for Orlando, and that ball is missed by Foster. Atlanta leading it 2-1 after Orlando won the opening set 25-21. Atlanta won the second 25-17, and then just concluded 25-23. Good pass by Sis. Oh my gosh, what a dig. Fantastic by Hintz to keep Atlanta in the point. Edmond through Abercrombie. And Sis a little bit lucky out of the back row.
Paintbrush kill by Nora Sis out of the back row. But I'm loving the defense right now. Watch this ball through a huge seam. Morgan Hintz throws her bodies up that seam, and then Sis paintbrush. Lots of topspin on it, though.
17 digs now for Hintz. She is the league leader at 4.5%. Quality first contact. Hintz again. Oh, an unfortunate location of that contact. Monserrat just couldn't get there.
So many good defensive touches. One area that Atlanta can improve on or not letting those opportunities get away. Hintz is going to dig everything. Yeah. Somebody has to be ready, even if it's a middle blocker, step in and put up a hittable ball.
Out of the back row again. Nice dig by Timmer. And Iko Jones, really smart shot away from Yosia down the line.
What impressed me the most was the dig by Pia Timmer. Watch her playing center back and just right arm stab to keep it alive, and then Iko Jones just cuffs it down the line out of the back row.
6-4 is the lead. Orlando must win this set to force the tiebreaker. Smart shot. Yeah, Pia Timmer not very happy with her blocking effort there.
Shampoo is just dangerous. She puts so much pressure on the blocks. You have to be ready for everything. She'll fire it behind her or to her middles, no matter where she is.
And both teams have been so smart in rallies, continually taking the setter out, continually taking the best outside attacker out as well, as we talked about. Hence again. Big rip by Aiko Jones. Hasn't she come on and played very well for Atlanta?
Aiko Jones holding it down on the right side. We talked earlier in this match about her block, but now it's her offense making a difference.
Jones now with 8 kills, make it 9 kills on 18 swings. That's a big number. Kaz Brown again. Remember last year's most outstanding middle blocker on an Orlando team that really struggled, so kudos to her. Orlando was only 8-16 last year, not close to the playoffs. We have come to our first technical timeout here in the 4th. Orlando trailing 2-1. Orlando in second place behind only Omaha. Omaha has been red hot. They've won 8 out of their last 9. Top 4 teams at the end of the year in the standings. Every team plays a 28 match schedule. Both of these teams are playing match number 19. Here is Brown coming out of the technical. Dug perfectly that time by Hentz. Sis ripping inside, dug again. Schwann, an excellent read in center back. And Nora Sis, the coaching staff said, and Amy Pauley in particular, Nora Sis has had a really good week of practice. She's a good player.
She's been working on her first contact, but we knew she knew how to kill the ball.
Came in for Lindsay Van de Weyde, who's been playing very well also. Tough serve. Oh, Sis trying to do a little bit too much. Orlando would like to have that one back. They were ahead in the point, did not take advantage.
Exactly, that's that transition set opportunity. And that one got away from Orlando.
Monserrat back to serve. Orlando leading it by 3. Short serve, good play by Schwann to step in. And Sis over the top, and even Morgan Hentz. She's got some heat.
Shampoo, love the offense that she runs. She makes it look easy. Little isolation in her hands, and that holds Ficini on the block.
Hentz now with 21 digs. I thought we were getting to about there. That's going to be a net violation, nullifying the dig by Nalani Yosia. Orlando playing with 2 liberos. Georgia Murphy once again out for the year with a very serious knee injury. Been replaced by Shannon Scully. In the reception phase, Yosia comes in to play defense. Oh, nice dig by Monserrat. Good cover again by Monserrat. Nora Sis. Talked about young depth in the league.
Exclamation point on that one. I mean, she's playing in practice every day against one of the best teams in the PVF. And Amy Pauley said she's been putting up ridiculous offensive numbers at practice. 6'1"
rookie outside hitter. 2024 Big East Player of the Year. Oh, yeah. Brittany Abercrombie's going back to the Kaz Brown play.
Similar play.
Very similar, I agree. Yeah, Brittany Abercrombie immediately very upset with that no call. Here is Ficini, 11-8 is the advantage. Oh, smart shot by Aiko Jones right on the sideline, and what a night. 9 kills now on 20 swings, hitting almost 400.
That's just a smart shot.
Yep.
Aiko Jones recognized that right front defender was sneaking in for the tip, and she goes cut shot. with the throw down.
Piccini waiting until Pia Timmer readjusts her laces. Oh, beautiful play. Shampoo to Foster.
Shampoo to everybody is pretty fun to watch, and running Foster in the gap, and she goes that wrist away, sharp angle, a lot of heat right in the gap, and then it's just Lewis in front of her.
Pornpun Goodpart goes by the name of Shampoo, second in the league in setting or in terms of assists. 9 years as a pro now. Korea, her native Thailand, and in Japan as well. She's the real deal. And Orlando still without Hannah Pukas, who's out for health reasons. She just got put on the inactive roster. And Hannah Pukas out of University of Oregon is a very, very good backup setter. So they got to be very careful with Shampoo. They don't know when she'll be available.
But Orlando did just sign a new player. And that will make a big difference. Melanie Schaffmaster, an All-American out of Minnesota, will be joining the team next week. And she's at 6'3", big block, really accomplished setter, and she will give them depth at the setting position.
Yeah, that's a very good insurance policy. Here is Edmond. Hittable ball just inside the 3-meter line. Good swing. Atlanta just slightly ahead in the point. Back row to Jones. In double figures now with kills.
Marley Monserrat, such a competitor. Love the way she goes to Aiko Jones. Everybody thinks it's going to Leah Edmond, and that makes Kaz Brown, that middle blocker for Orlando, a little bit late to close.
Tough serve working on Sis. Oh, blocked by Lewis.
It's nice to be way up high, just hovering above the net. Corey Lewis. I mean, you have to be disciplined. You can't just go up and put your hands, otherwise it's going to take it away from your teammates behind you. That was a very nice play by the rookie out of Florida State. Lewis now with 9 kills on 20 swings. Hit 350. Kayla Banworth certainly likes the production out of her young middle blocker and getting better every match out. Back row combination. Nora Sis has come on and played very, very nicely. I love the confidence Orlando has in the rookie. Going to her even when she's in the back row, but they see it every day at practice. We, the fans, don't get to see it until now.
Schwann going deep. Good communication by Timmer along with Morgan Hintz. We'll have a technical timeout when a team reaches 16. Oh, Sis, a bad swing. The rookie missed it out of bounds. The play was set up perfectly.
Setter front row for Orlando.
Coming to Sis again. Nope. Abercrombie. Dug by Lewis. That's a good chase by Timmer, but just ran out of room.
Corey Lewis almost dug that ball in the back row for Atlanta. Just couldn't control it off her platform. 15
substitutions in college volleyball, 6 internationally, 8 in the Pro Volleyball Federation. So defense and serving, a new adventure for Corey Lewis. Oh, Aiko Jones. What a contribution off the bench for Atlanta.
Aiko Jones, so good on the right side. We've seen her out of the back row be able to score, but very skilled at going down that line again out of the back row. Kaz Brown caught sneaking up. We talked about how well these teams know one another. You need to use offensive balance to get away from teams trying to scheme against one certain player. Look at the balance for Atlanta tonight. 14 from Edmond, Timmer with 10, Corey Lewis out of the middle with 9, and Aiko Jones, what a spark she's been on that right side, coming in after the first set.
And Leah Edmond and Pia Timmer as the primary receivers, along with Morgan Hentz, have been really, really good in that first contact. Yeah, Lyko Jones, what a contribution. Foster taken out of the play. Edmond back row, no left side to Timmer. Smart, restart the point. Did you hear that? Marley Monserrat said fast, and it certainly was.
So important to make those decisions when you don't have the right swing. Recycle the ball, and then Timmer gets the fastball where she's got seam to work through.
A couple of weeks ago, Atlanta was 5-8. They're now 10-8. Make it 6-8, and a service winner. Atlanta has won 4 in a row, hoping to make it 5.
Back-to-back plays. Marley Monserrat has served the ball short to take Natalie Foster out of the offense and force her to pass the ball, and it's working for Atlanta Vibe right now.
Abby Hansen, 6'5" middle blocker, concluded her career at UCF after starting at Oregon, now on. This is a really good run for Monserrat, and Atlanta dug by Timmer. And Hansen having to go to it early. Unforced error there, and now the lead is 19-15. Timeout is called by the Valkyries.
Atlanta Vibe behind a strong serving strategy to take the middles out of the play, and they have not been able, well, Orlando has not been able to run their middle or run the offense they want to.
Really good strategy. So much scouting, so many numbers, so much video. Let's update you once again on the current standings, the importance of this match. Orlando again had won 9 in a row, and speaking of hot teams, before they lost to Omaha, has won 8 out of their last 9. They're alone atop the standings. Atlanta looking for their 5th straight win. Indy hanging in without Lecator member Mena, and Las Vegas, if you weren't with us earlier, they ended a very unfortunate 7-match losing streak in a very dramatic match last night at Grand Rapids.
The Vegas Thrill have been so close, so many 5-setters where they've been right at the edge of winning and then lost heartbreakers. So nice for them to get over the hump. But Vegas Thrill is another team that can be very dangerous, pushing for that playoff spot.
And again, no easy outs. I mean, Columbus's record, you go, well, what are you talking about? They have lost so many 5-set matches, including last night, 15-13 in the 5th. You are your record, but there's no easy outs. Monserrat again. And yo-yoing and got the ace. Wow. I love a good yo-yo.
She is definitely yo-yoing that time, catching the back line. Atlanta on fire. Look at that. What placement.
5-0 run now for Monserrat. And Orlando is reeling. Sis, Monserrat is there, ball alive. Orlando must have this. And missed it out of bounds.
The defense for Atlanta has been really impressive, and that puts pressure on Orlando's hitters. They think they have to be perfect because Atlanta touching everything defensively right now.
Atlanta now with 80 digs, led by Morgan Hentz with 22. Leah Edmond has 14. Tight pass, and another ball hit out of bounds. 3rd meeting between these two teams. The first 2 won by Orlando, 3-0 at home and 3-2 in this building. Now a big lead now for Atlanta, 22-15. What's the conversation over on the Orlando side? How about hit the ball in the court?
And a pass. Like, what are we going to do about these short serves? We got to communicate. Our middles aren't doing a fantastic job of passing the ball. And this is a hitter rotation with setter in the front row.
Well, we've got just a moment. Let's talk about Omaha. We're going to see them tomorrow against Indy. What do you think has been the key to their run 8 out of the last 9?
Depth. I mean, they've rested their setter, Nati. Mac Pedraza has come in and done a fantastic job. Emily Londot was the PVF Player of the Week. She came off the bench, wasn't playing for a while, and has just lit things up offensively. I mean, the depth on the team has been really impressive.
Yeah, to that point, Kelsey Payne, who started the year, was taken over by Londot, who was really good. Kelsey Payne came in and played very well, so that should be another very interesting match. Be good to go to Omaha and see how the #1 team in the league fares against Indy. Now once again playing without Lekator Member-Mene, unfortunately for the rest of the year, out with her second and very serious ankle injury. Where does Monserrat go with this one? Having a pretty good running conversation with some of the players in the bullpen. Going short again. Hence, excellent set in transition. Wow, very controversial call. Is this ball in the plane? The only way this can be a violation called by Devaney McCarty is if that ball is, the crowd doesn't like it. You can't challenge that. That's a judgment call. And that ball served out of bounds. Well, we're 2 points away, so we'll move. What do you think, Paul?
Well, I thought Shampoo, she was a front row setter.
Yes,
and I thought it looked like she was going over the net. Orlando was saying she was sending the ball.
I agree. Far be it from us to question Devaney's officiating prowess. Service winner, Pia Timmer. Atlanta 1 point away from their 5th straight win, and I mentioned it right before first serve. 2 teams with their eyes set on a spot in the playoffs. Match point. With the exclamation.
Very impressive win by Atlanta. They made a difference with one, they're serving strategically, and the defensive effort was a huge difference as the match progressed. Look at this open net kill on the pin by Leah Edmond. That was her easiest kill of the night.
Leah Edmond had a double-double after 2 sets, and how good was Aiko Jones? Really, Monserrat the whole night. Very impressive again by Morgan Hetz with 23 digs, 83 overall for Atlanta.
Both teams went to their bench and they had big impacts. I mean, Lindsay Vanderweider had a great start, but then they went to Nora Sis, and Aiko Jones definitely a bright spot, but Marley Monserrat took them on that long scoring run for the service line at the end.
Orlando won the opening set, and then after that, it was the Atlanta vibe as they improve to 11-8. That's it from Atlanta. 3-1 is the win for the homestanding Vibe as they take the match. Pro Volleyball Federation action on ROKU continues on March 28th. We head to Grand Rapids where the Columbus Fury visit the Rise on ROKU Sports Channel. For Holly McPeak and our entire crew, I'm Paul Sunderland. Hope you enjoyed the match. Atlanta breaks through against Orlando. We'll see what happens in the rematch, their 4th and final meeting of the year. Thanks so much for joining us. Good night from Atlanta.